Hey guys, I am Reborn Matt Sydal. I've been all over the world. I've wrestled for WWE New Japan. I've wrestled in my own backyard, but what I would like you to do is open your hearts, open your minds, and open your third eyes, because it's cookie time. You? Thanks. 然后他现在All right. Who is this? Handsome guy.
他现在主要在美国摔跤，不过他有一点受伤，所以他刚刚跟我说大概5年左右就退休，他脚肿了一块，然后呢，我们那个早餐的部分都在那边，餐具也在那边，就大家可以现在可以先去一起吃。这边就是当大家的翻译啦。今天大家有这个机会跟国际巨星去见面，这没变，他快退休了。对，所以有什么问题尽量问他。
昨天到了，昨天晚上快12点，大家去吃什么？大家去逛一下。没有，这直接
No, Family Mart. I want a Family Mart.
他去全家。
Like the rice triangle.
Oh,
预饭团。
Tuna. I got 2 of those.
有鱼饭团。
那他在结束的话会想去吃小笼包。
You know the dumpling in Taiwan? You know小笼包? You have what? 小笼包是 dumpling. 从来没有吃过。
What's inside the dumpling? Pork.
Excuse me, sir. I want to know, as a professional athlete, so your job is make a good shape for your body, muscle. So I want to know, 他说一整天的就是行程都是锻炼身体，然后休息这样。
Yeah, so it's for me it's sort of a lifestyle, like living like a healthy lifestyle. And at my house in Florida, I have weight equipment in my sort of backyard, kind of behind my house. It's outside, and so it's very hot. But in the morning, I wake up and I go out there and I have a shoulder dislocation, and I'm doing rehabilitation on my neck from a neck injury. So in the morning, I start with just therapy, but it's usually painful therapy. And then after that, then I get some food in me and relax a little for lunch, and then do like a wrestling training. And I have a wrestling school near my house where I teach wrestling. And that keeps me very busy because I have some good students, and so I'm up there about 2 to 3 times a week in ring training, and then I wrestle Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the weekends. So busy schedule. Yeah, but there's so much travel with wrestling that it's like very hard to have a schedule. So I always say I do my best every day, but my best varies day to day.
所以基本上他们是刚刚提到，就是他一天如果没有比赛的话，他的行程是怎么样？他通常会做自主训练，因为他有一些器材在他的后院，他家后院露天的，所以他通常早上会做一些可能比较类似复健的东西，他的肩膀、他的脖子，对，然后下午可能就是做摔跤的训练，还有一些重训。然后他同时他家在佛罗里达州，然后他家那附近有他的摔跤学校，所以他有一些学生，他一个礼拜可能要教课2到3次，对，那就是可能是礼拜1到4这样子，礼拜5、6日就是出去外面比赛，因为在美国的比赛通常都是在周末，对，所以他行程基本上就很满。然后大概就是一直重复这样。
And I have like a long stretching routine I do in the mornings too, like slow stretching. Yeah, so it's like kind of a slower yoga.
对，那因为他有一些受伤的经验，所以他通常早上会花很长的时间做一些伸展，有类似瑜伽的一些动作，所以让他身体调整他的体态。
So I'm happy to teach yoga or wrestling to anyone who's interested. Those are the things I do right here. Yeah.
他说他非常开心可以教大家瑜伽或者是摔跤。在这边啊，我要学的技巧。
Okay, good.
For you.
These are so good. You guys want to try this Honeycrisp apple?
Everybody.
The apple.
My favorite.
我想请问一下，还有喜欢的选手？
For me, it's hard to say all time, but I think number 1 is Rey Mysterio. Without a doubt. But right now, I have 2 favorite wrestlers, John Morrison and Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix. And maybe 1 month ago, John Morrison and Rey Fenix wrestled. The best match ever. The best. Yeah, it's for Impact. So good.
他最喜欢的选手就是 John Morrison 跟那个一个叫 Rey Fenix 的独立选手，对，然后他们在之前2个人在 Impact 打了一场非常棒，他看得非常开心。但是他从以前到现在，可能最喜欢的还是 Rey Mysterio。主持人。
我有问题，就是他前几个礼拜有对上 Johnny Impact， 那这次比赛就是有什么样不一样的心情吗？
You know, what I like is the bigger challenge because the first time I wrestled John Morrison was on ECW in like 2008 or 9.
Wow.
The first time we wrestled was 2009, and I think since then, we both have gotten a lot better. And that's what I like about it, is that our match today will be nothing like any match we've had before. Because John Morrison is very creative, and so am I. So when we're in there, it's never ordinary. It's always extremely different. And that's, for me, the most fun, is making new art, not doing the same old thing.
对，他是说基本上他每次跟 John Morrison 或者是 Johnny Impact 对战，其实都不一样。他喜欢有挑战性的东西，然后Johnny他是很有想法、很有创造性的一个选手，所以他非常期待。他们做出来的东西每次都不一样，所以大家可以拭目以待。
那如果说平常没有比赛或是没有训练的话，他有什么消遣？
So I have a lot of hobbies. You know, Did you say coffee? Yeah, like you know, I like to do some boring stuff like read books and study, and I live with my girlfriend and we have a 5-year-old boy. So a lot of my time is trying to raise him and always doing stuff kind of related to education, more of our hobbies and stuff. Kind of boring, but I do a lot of research and study a lot of different things, like everything from like Zen, Buddhism, and religions to world history, and I love the news. Like I like to watch current events for international news.
Training your boys to wrestling, or do they want to wrestling with you?
You know, that's not something because I have the wrestling school, I think already thinks he's a wrestler. At age 5, you know, he has more ring experience than a lot of people, because when I go to train at the school, he can come with me. And so I sort of it reminds me of Steve Carino, who would bring his son Colby, even when he was 8, 9, 10 years old, to Japan and start wrestling there. And so you never know. But for me, I just want him to focus on studying and learning and maybe become a scientist, something better than a wrestler.
他刚刚是说他平常就是在家里，然后他喜欢阅读，他喜欢看一些时事跟历史的东西。对，那除此之外，他跟他女朋友住在一起，所以他们有个小孩5岁吧，对，然后就是照顾他吧，对，然后跟教育的部分，也是蛮多的。
Philosophy, religion, history, math and science, my interests, and wrestling.
假设看一些时事啊、新闻、宗教之类，就是学习，他会宁愿说带小朋友去学习这些东西。那么小朋友跟着他走来走去巡回的话，小朋友可能会觉得说他也是在摔跤。所以我本来是问他说，他是否会带着小朋友跟着他一起摔跤，或者小朋友想跟着他一起去摔跤这样。Do you have any routine exercises before you sleep?
Those are perfect exercises. I typically do those in the morning. I do a lot of my exercising first thing to kind of finish it before the day's even begun. I like to, by lunchtime, I want to have all my work finished. So from 7 or 8 in the morning until 12, I work really hard. And then at lunchtime, I kind of am relaxed, and then that's when I can take my brain to reading or thinking about other things, or maybe thinking of ideas for wrestling or a promo, what I want to say, that kind of stuff, because I'm always trying to think of what to say in my next promo. What can I say that's not the same thing I said last week, or what can I say to connect with people? So I'm kind of always in a wrestling mindset. Once I finish all that stuff, it's like, how can I improve on a bigger scale? Because but you asked about my nighttime thing, and so before bed I like to stretch. I do these things, they're called range of motion workouts, where you just really work on increasing, your slow static stretching. So it's not like fast moving yoga or Tai Chi. It's like long 3, 4, 5 minute holds in each stretch. And that really calms my nervous system down and lets me relax. And then before I go to bed, I do more like mental exercises. Like I kind of think about the next day, kind of visualize kind of optimistically, but also within reality, not fantasy, but at night I daydream about the next day, kind of going ahead and putting the things in my head that tonight I'm going to get good sleep, tomorrow when I wake up I'll feel good, and then usually that happens.
他刚刚是问说他睡前多久？他是讲说基本上他在早上之前就会把他基本上大部分工作都做完，包含健身啊，还有摔跤的一些运动这样子，都先做完，下午就开始阅读，然后他就开始去思考说下一次可以做些什么新的东西，对。然后到了晚上呢，他基本上做一些，他讲那个运动，就是一种运动，就是有点像是复健的运动，去伸展他的身体这样，可能，然后就让他的身体稍微放松一点。那同时他也会去想说，那明天要做什么，明天要去讲什么。
他不是日本打过吗？那对日本哪个选手印象最深刻？日本最印象最深刻的哪个比赛选手？
其实我也想问类似的，就是因为以他来讲，他带过两转一，带过新日本，带过 Dragon Gate， 就是以选手来讲，当然在团体间来去是还算蛮正常，但是以他的经历来讲，他算是经历过大大小小各式各样的团体。那我刚刚想问的是类似的，就是说他对哪个团体印象最深
Yeah, that's tough. Because for me, I started going to Japan when I was just 23 years old. I'm 23, yeah. I'm 35 now.
Wow.
So my first trip to Japan was in 2000 and I can't remember, a long time ago. But that was for
Dragon Gate.
Yeah, that was for Dragon Gate, and that's where I met like Sima, who helped teach me and train me, because I trained very hard in the U.S., but Japan's level of wrestling and professional and technique so much higher. So I came to Japan and kind of had to relearn again how to wrestle, and that's why Sima's always been a guy I've looked up to, admired, and tried to be more like. So I'd say he's my favorite. But I love Dragon Gate, but I also had a great time when I was with New Japan, and teaming with Ricochet is my favorite. But yeah, and so me and Ricochet are from, SEMA kind of helped both of us when we were in Dragon Gate, and then we were able to take what we learned there to New Japan and become champions a couple times. So, I'm really proud of all that I've done it both in Dragon Gate and New Japan. But I would love to. One of my dreams has always been to open the Dream Gate champion at Dragon Gate. I mean, that's just something. When I was there, it was just. I think it's the coolest looking championship belt, and I think it has a lot of honor and prestige. And so, that was something that a goal that I'd like to accomplish someday.
大家可能知道他是因为 WWE 嘛，但实际上他在进 WWE 之前，他在日本已经待了好像2-3年左右，在Dragon Gate已经待过，后来他才被 WWE 牵走，所以他
Oh yeah.
所以他基本上对于他在那个 Dragon Gate 的师傅西马是很尊敬的，对，然后西马基本上也提拔他跟 Ricochet 就是现在的。Ricochet？
Yeah.
OK， 他是 Ricochet 对，所以他就是西马照顾他们2位很多了，所以他们后来一路打到新日本，然后成为新日本的冠军。对啊，所以他真的感谢他。然后他的梦想基本上还是希望有一天可以拿到 Dragon Gate 的那个单打冠军腰带。对，因为那个腰带对他来讲是蛮特别的，他觉得很漂亮，很好看。然后他认为有一些历史，有些传统在上面，所以他的梦想其实是拿那条腰带。所以基本上他可能比较喜欢联盟还是这样。
所以他刚刚提到说他很喜欢 Dragon Gate 的单打腰带，所以这是不是意思就是他在 Impact 这边之后可能还会再回到，因为像你刚刚有提到说他具体退休可能没有剩几年的，那是不是在最后会回到 Dragon Gate， 然后？有点对，有可能吗？我记得有这个可能性，
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I have so many friends there, and so many, like my brother wrestled for Dragon Gate. I wrestled for Dragon Gate is like my family in Japan. So I love Kobe, Osaka area the most. Like I could move to Kobe tomorrow. But you never know. I'm very busy already. But I sure would like to go back to Japan. But next year I've got a lot of. I end up wrestling Japanese guys in England or other places. But yeah, I'd love to. I've been talking with Impact about trying to bring the Dragon Gate guys there, or the Strong Hearts group, SEMA's group, and so, for me, everywhere is. For me, I don't divide places by the country or this country or that country, because it's all wrestling, so it's all one thing to me, so it's all part of the same thing. So I don't see the differences, I see the similarities.
然后当然他很想要，对他来讲，他现在身体变好，对，然后他在欧洲、在美国也跟很多日本选手对战过，他现在主要是在 Impact。然后他也是跟 Impact 讲说，尽量带一些 Dragon Gate 的人过来，或者是西马那个团体，那个 NTW Strong Heart 那边的人过来美国做比赛。不过对他来讲，他觉得基本上摔跤就是一体的，基本上没有什么分哪个国家怎么样。对，虽然说他很喜欢关西地区那一带，他明天就可以搬过去嘛，他刚刚讲。但是对他来讲，其实现在他行程真的太忙了。只要有机会跟选手对战，他都很开心。
蒋工程师是怎么去查喜欢摔跤，就是去当职业选手？
什么原因让他变成想成为摔跤选手？
So that was not a choice by me. Wrestling chose me.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I was just a kid, and my family didn't like wrestling. My father doesn't watch wrestling, but me and my brothers together, we found VHS tapes of wrestling, and that's what got us interested. But what really got me interested was we had a friend who gave us a videotape of some other kids, like teenagers, and they were wrestling in their backyard. And I said, I like to watch it, But for me, I just wanted to do it.
Wow.
I wanted to be Rob Van Dam, or I wanted to be Jerry Lynn. I didn't think I would ever get paid to do it or do it as a living. For me, it was just for fun. It was something, a hobby that I chased. And no one paid me to wrestle for 6 or 7 years. And I just wrestled and learned and trained, but I always went to places where the wrestlers on the show inspired me. And so I kept hanging around, and all of a sudden, this is my only job. It's been my only job, but I feel like wrestling picked me, and I was just lucky enough to go with it and not resist. And my personality is very good for wrestling because I'm a little crazy, and I like to work hard, and I like it when there's a big challenge in front of me. So to become a wrestler seemed like one of the biggest challenges, because when I started, I was even smaller and tiny, you know, a skinny little wrestler, but I always had the heart for it.
都基本上是摔跤选择他，只是他选择他选择摔跤，因为他说他生长其实很普通的家庭，他家里没有人看摔跤，对，然后是因为他朋友给他小时候吧，他朋友给他一些录影带，有一些小朋友在后院玩摔跤，所以他看得有兴趣，然后他开始就想说他想要做一些类似的东西，开始去学去做。然后他也不是说一开始只是纯粹兴趣而已啦，他也没有说为了靠这个赚钱养他的生活，只是好玩。他可能6、7年都没有拿薪水吧，就是摔跤，没有拿薪。然后来，所以他后来也发现到说，他在学习的过程当中，他发现摔跤，他是一个比较想要去挑战东西的人，他也算是有点疯狂的人，对啊，所以他觉得说，这好像跟摔跤的元素可以融合在一起，所以后来他觉得说，感觉是一种冥冥之中一种机缘，他觉得摔跤选择了他可能就不知不觉就走上这条道路这样。
的意思是6角跟4方对他来说是不一样。
I don't like the 6-sided ring. The ropes aren't. They're more. The ropes don't give as much because it's a shorter distance. So if you have a longer distance, you can pull the string kind of further back. But if it's tighter, the ropes don't bounce as much. So they're really stiff. So if you like crash into them, it's like hitting a wall. It's not fun. And then the 6-sided ring. A 4-sided ring has ropes that are at like a 90-degree angle. That's easy for my feet to go like this. 6-sided ring is a wider angle, so my feet are like this. This is not a good position to jump from. You don't jump with your feet like this, you jump with your feet like this. So my first time in the 6-sided ring, my first shooting star press, and the timing was just off by a little bit, and I put my knee into the mat, and it still hurts today because of it. So after that, every day I said to Impact Management, how about we go back to a regular ring, please, just a regular ring. And so now we're back to it. And in fact, me and Johnny Impact, we both claim we told Impact, change the ring. But we were very polite about it. But we said, change the ring or we leave.
他说他比较喜欢4角的，因为6角擂台那种设计跟4角差很多了。他的绳索的部分就基本上它距离比较短，所以它那个弹性会比较紧，所以你撞到它的其实那个会比较痛。对，它的这个弹力不一样，然后包含它角度的那个角度也是一样，4角就90度嘛，所以它比较好站，
比较好把身体直接卡在里面。
对，但是那个6角的角度太宽了，其实它对他的脚来讲不是
方向感也不好掌握。他也说他做 shooting press 的时候，因为角度抓的不太好，所以下去的时候 timing 抓错了，会变成膝盖着地。
They're good, right? They're definitely Honeycrisp apples.
台湾应该找到他们的代言人。
Fruit is my favorite food, for sure. If I had to, I could live off only fruit.
他最喜欢吃水果，他可以光吃水果。
Fresh fruit, the best. Bananas, orange, apple.
香蕉啊，
然后就他客有的4家。
Okay. Show me.
不要去买那个。
下午的那种。
All right.
我想问说，他在日本的时候，他对于哪一场比赛印象比较深？跟每个选手打都觉得是很好奇新的挑战。
Okay, so like I said, my career in Japan was Dragon Gate and New Japan the most. But when I was with WWE, I went and did maybe 3 tours of Japan. And one time in 2010, it was me versus Rey Mysterio in, I think it was Osaka. And that's the best match I've ever had in my whole life. So that match for me is my favorite. It was versus Rey Mysterio for WWE, but in Japan. And it was, I mean, it was the best match I've had. The crowd was so loud, and for me that was just like a dream come true to be in that match, and then for it to be such a good match, and also like my family came to watch, and so it was just really important and special to me, that match.
他说，虽然他在日本有帮新日本还有在跟 Gay 工作过，不过在日本的比赛，他最印象深刻的还是他替 WWE 工作的时候，有一场是对 Rey Mysterio。对，那一场本来是在大阪地区举办的，然后观众反应非常热烈，他做的动作也非常好，然后他的家人也在旁边看，所以这一切对来讲有点美梦成真的感觉。其实WWE 的比赛，但是在日本。
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I like your banner.
Oh, yeah. You'll see this Saturday.
I agree.
因为我好奇的是说，就是他每次这样子转完之后，到了市场，能够到了一个点，那他会想就是会去再去锻炼身体，还是说要好好的踢好？
That would be great, but you know that's the thing about wrestling is you have to go where the wrestling is and where the show is, and for me, I don't even think about the travel because if you do, it'll just eat your head up. Like if you add up the hours that I'm in the air flying, it's a lot, maybe 24 hours to get here, but also the waiting in each airport, and it goes on forever, so I don't keep track. I don't even pay attention. How long is the flight? Who cares? The flight goes from when I get on to when I get off, and I just keep myself busy in the meantime. Honestly, to be on a plane means I get free time to do anything. Privacy, read a book, look at my phone. Like, I'm so busy every day that when I get to travel, I just get to be like, you know.
刚刚会说他这个行程转了来回转了6-7次飞机，是不是很累？他说基本上他很少在考虑这个东西的，就是在做工作，然后他也不用去担心这个航班的问题，因为这些主办单位都会帮他考虑好。对，然后他对他来讲，这个算是他的自由时间啊，在飞机上等于他自由时间。他刚刚写到他写阅读，所以他就有很多时间。他刚才带着本书来的。 他有带一本书在包很厚，没有他给我看，他就是在这读书，然后去想一些事情，然后看一下手机这样。对，所以像他这一次，他好像花了将近24个小时。他光飞机就飞了80个人，再加上中间但是转机的时间，基本上快1整天。对啊，所以就蛮辛苦。不过他觉得他是蛮 OK 的，对来讲没什么问题。
就是说就是这样子。 巡回这样子到了，假如说今天到了当地，像今天到了台湾啊，他除了好好的休息之外，他会在想就是逼自己再去这个方面做一些或者是厉害的。
Yeah. Well, it actually to sweat actually really helps your body adjust to where you are. So I have a lot of trouble with jet lag because. There's never, when I arrive, sometimes I'll travel all night. Like if I go to England, I fly overnight, I land at 9 in the morning, and then I go straight to an arena, and I basically have to wrestle that day. So dealing with jet lag is very challenging. What I do is, number one, I drink water. No alcohol, nothing like that, especially on an airplane, because it can really not help your health. And then wherever I land, I just decide that when I landed here last night, it was 11:30 or midnight, and I wasn't thinking what time is it back home. I am always thinking what time is it here today, and then I want to get on this schedule. So I just made sure I went to Family Mart, got a little something, and went right to bed. And today, I'm on Taiwan time. You know, sometimes it requires an extra day of rest at the end, but so my tricks for jet lag are drink water and go outside and watch the sun rise or set. Because then your body gets adjusted. Seeing the sun go down or come up, that really helps your body know where it's supposed to be. And I like to physically be outside in the environment, be walking around so that you get, rather than you're just in a box hotel room, it's hard to get adjusted to where you are unless you go outside and feel it a little bit. And so those are my little jet lag tricks.
他说调时差是蛮有挑战性的事情，像这一次的话是一样，但是他通常不会去想说，我回去的时间是怎么样的，反正他只要到了这边，他就是想当地的时间，然后尽量去调试自己的身体，去配合当地的作息。他喜欢去看一些日出日落啦，然后因为他说你去看一下，看这个太阳，你不要整天窝在房间里面，去外面走一走，看一下太阳，然后你身体会自动去调节他的身体机能，去配合当地的时间。然后另外一个就是说他在飞机上他不喝水，他只喝水，因为他说在飞机上你没办法做太多事情去调整你的身体啊，对，那就是从饮食开始下手，不要喝酒什么的，就让他会影响到他的身体机能，再就是只喝水。然后了解自己身体，然后到当地了解自己的习惯。
他跟哪个选手打双打都最契合，就是他最喜欢那个选手打双打，动作最漂亮。
Yeah, I think two people. My brother Mike Sydal, but he's not very famous. So Ricochet and Kofi. Ricochet one, and then maybe Kofi number 2. Yeah. Yeah, he's actually my older brother.
他哥其实默契是对的，但是不是很有名。然后如果说比较有名的话，就是
有在帮我拍摄。
And also, when I was younger, I teamed with Christopher Daniels, and he was just another mentor for me.
他比较年轻的时候，他也跟Christopher Daniels 搭档过，他也是另外他的一个心理导师。就是以前是日本的什么咖喱的，对，他现在还在打，在 OH。
我觉得蛮想问一个劲爆的，就是摔跤界会不会不一样？蛮想问这个，是不是有遇到说什么团体之间为了公司的利益，那要他这个权利只有选手的？
Yeah, of course. There's no good without bad. They go together, you know? For as good as everything can be, it can also be just as stressful and bad. And, you know, for me, I would say the dark side is the pain. Wrestling's very painful, and it's about being tough. And so we get up and we show up to events when we're still hurt. You know, that's not just me, that's my friends, other wrestlers. You know, if we agree, if I'm, like, for example, last year, I wrestled at Impact. We did 5 shows in a row to film TV. On the final night, I fell on my shoulder and I dislocated it all the way out of the socket. The doctor put it back in. Maybe 12 hours later or less, I'm getting on a plane and I'm flying to Israel to go wrestle. So this is just what we do. We don't quit. We just, it might not be the smartest mentality, but it's a wrestler mentality, which is you bite down and you just keep going forward, keep marching forward. So that's the dark side, because for me, when I'm hurting, I might say I'm okay, how you doing, nice to meet you, I feel good today, but really you're kind of keeping a little secret, and it makes you a little more mean to people, maybe more mean to your family, or you ask me to wake up, no, you know, that's sort of the negative side from that place.
因为他可能没有听到我的问题，还是问的不好，我再问一次。I think somebody for you. And they asked something between the company and the US. Is there any pretty bad thing?
You know, I just haven't. I've had it very lucky, where I've always had the office or the promotion kind of on my side or looking out for me. More often than not, I felt defended by the places I work for, rather than like me versus the company. But I'm always part of a group. We call it the boys, which is the wrestlers first, promotion second. So wherever I go, I'm with my friends and my family. It doesn't matter which banner, which organization we're underneath, because it's always the same wrestlers. We're always working towards the same thing, no matter who's paying us or who's in charge. We always feel like we're the ones in charge. So that's the difference between wrestling and the management. You know, there's a little combat, but nothing too bad.
他说当然是有一些就是团体跟选手之间有一些比较黑暗的东西啦，但是他运气比较好，是因为他有一个小团体，对，然后通常他们都是一起集体行动的，所以不管到哪一家公司做摔跤，他们基本上算是有点靠山的感觉，有点势力的感觉，对对，所以比较不会被欺负或者说怎么样。满意就回答。
很满意。
通常有人不会讲。
他的小孩是男生，然后他现在有这个小孩子，他觉得已经很有挑战。那他有看过他的比赛，对摔跤界也有过
男生。
Yes. So he came, about a year ago was his first time to watch it there, but he comes to my school more often than my performance.
他说他的小孩是有看过他的比赛，但是不是很常，通常都是去他的那个摔跤学校看他做一些教学。对，因为他的比赛大部分是在外州其他地方，所以他的小孩比较没办法跟着到处跑看他的比赛。
Yeah, because the wrestling locker rooms, not really places for kids.
休息室不是一个小孩该去的地方。
He's innocent.
非常的天真，不太好。
这么久的时间，他们曾经想要放弃摔跤这件事。
Yes. The second I dislocated my shoulder, I said I want to quit, because this pain, I wouldn't want anyone on earth, even my worst enemy, to feel like I felt. You know, and it's very hard, because you feel like maybe this pain will never end. But luckily, I've got a good community, and it's the community of wrestlers that I don't want to quit. You know, I don't see a future where I'm not involved in wrestling. If I want to always be the best wrestler, but eventually I won't be. But I want to be a part of whoever are the best wrestlers. I want to be part of that group, whether I'm promoting them or in charge of filming or I'm backstage assisting. I feel like I have lots of skills in wrestling, and fighting is just one of them. But my talents, my gifts in wrestling are everything from the creative booking, you know, I look at all of wrestling, not just one match. So I want to be involved with wrestling forever, but my wrestling, the active part where I'm fighting, that has a limited time because of injury.
他当然是曾经想过要离开摔跤界，因为他的肩膀受伤的关系之前。不过他就是因为有摔跤界有一群朋友啦，他们有个很好的一个团体，然后一个朋友圈啦，所以想到这个的话，他会觉得说他就不想要离开，因为这群人对他的帮助很大，然后他也觉得说他的一些能力是有办法贡献这个圈子，所以他因为这个原因还是继续选择留下来。对啊，不过他说因为受伤的关系，他可能不得不离开，今年之后。
There was a while where I thought I would quit wrestling and open a business or do something like that, but for me, I don't care about business and I don't care about money. I would rather just be a part of something that I love and figure out the money part later. And that it seems to work for me. You know, I'm very, very lucky, but it's, yeah, I would rather do what I enjoy and hope there's money than be more focused on working just to pay, like doing stuff just to pay the bills. I don't think is the way to do it, because for me, I'm an artist at heart, so I want to be creating things and making things. And you know, when you make art, people only pay you what they think it's worth. So some days you might get less, some days you might get more, but you're always making it. And I don't paint, I don't draw, but I use the wrestling canvas as my place to do the art, and then I leave it, and that's kind of, it's for you guys. And so I just want to keep making that until I can't anymore.
他说他也曾经想说要就是做个生意什么的，不过他觉得那不是他想要做的，因为他想要就是以他的兴趣为主，不是说为了赚钱而赚钱，还是以在热情跟兴趣的基础上去做工作，做他喜欢他想要做的事情。然后他也不在乎说他赚多少钱，只要可以生活。像画家一样，他觉得说今天画一幅画啊，你在出价就觉得说他有这个价格，那可以高可以低，但是至少还是会有一些收入。他觉得这个比较像他的个性，对，他是做他喜欢做的事情，他做一些有创造性的东西，观众买单就买单，对他做他不能做为止。
As a professional wrestler, do you buy ticket to watch other group of wrestlers?
Well, so no, but I do subscribe to the New Japan World service, and then my brother subscribes to Dragon Gate. So, and I also have the Ring of Honor subscription service.
Yes, also for my young brother, we also do it like this.
Yeah, so it works out great that, you know, we have these similar interests. It's like between, I mean, Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, and New Japan, there's so much wrestling to watch. But for me, I, like you're saying, to see it live. I like to watch from backstage. I look through the curtain and I watch every match, whether I'm at PWG or New Japan or here tonight. If you look in the back, you might see my little head poking out, because to watch wrestling on TV, you're one step removed from that magic. Because the magic happens live in your face in this kind of setting where the real magic happens. So one of my goals is to figure out how to change the way we film wrestling to bring the emotions home with people, so they don't have to be at the show. So you can translate that live feeling, the electricity, translate that through a camera to people's houses. And I've got a lot of new ideas on how to do that are not being done at all right now. The same way I saw wrestling and wanted to do it differently, I see how wrestling is presented and want to present it in a new way.
我就问他说，他自己是一个摔跤选手，他是不是还会在买票去看其他的秀？对，那他是说，他也有订阅像 New Japan World 跟 Dragon Gate 的线上付费平台。那他跟他哥会这样子互换账号来看，但是他还是比较喜欢在现场感受观众的那些欢愉气氛，他觉得说这种感受，然后带回家会比看荧幕会比屏幕好。
对，然后他还说，就是基本上看摔跤就是要看现场的，因为这是一种魔法。看荧幕的话，就离这个魔法就一步之遥，那一步就是很神秘的一个东西。所以基本上他还是有机会的话，他比如说在比赛现场，他会从后台去探头出来看一下现场的气氛怎么样，选手表演怎么样。对，不过他现在在想一个新的东西，其实基本上看摔跤，你看现场跟看荧幕是有差的。然后他是说他有个想法，他好像有个点子，就是有一种新的拍摄的方法，可以把这个距离感缩小。对，他如果有机会的话，想要做。
No, but that's, I mean, yeah, well, so that's another thing that I've worked with is the new technology coming out to present wrestling, because it was a big deal when we changed from like regular cameras to HD. That was a big change for wrestling, but really it's a small change. The big changes are coming because of the increasing rate of change of technology. So I've been involved in making the WWE video games for a long time, doing the motion capture videos, filming the moves so that they can be applied into the game. And I think very soon our wrestling will be more like a video game, and there will be very close, the reality and the video game will soon just like kind of come together, because I've seen the new technology for the video games, and they have like VR where you're the wrestler, and it's very intense because you just look out and you just see the person coming across from you, and they can build the whole arena. So when we are making the video game stuff, we'll sometimes get to wear the goggles, so when we're making it, we can be in the arena and we can see the setting when I'm just in an empty warehouse. But with the goggles, it's WrestleMania.
他刚刚提到的那个技术是跟VR 有关系的，然后跟他，因为他现在其实还是会帮 WWE 拍一些就动态捕捉的东西，所以他是想要类似结合这方面的东西，因为他可能从那边得到一些启发，他觉得说现在的科技跟以前不一样，然后他们可以在一个仓库里面拍摄，可是实际上你戴上那个眼镜去看，好像摔跤狂热一样，所以他是想做类似的东西，看看能不能把它融入到未来。摔跤节目里面，他是讲。
It's only a matter of time before, like, right here, we will be able to watch like 3D wrestling right here, like as if it's almost you can touch it. And that's just a few years away, but to be successful in wrestling, we have to be in front of the technology. If we fall behind, well, wrestling might not make it. But wrestling's specialty is if you have the highest tech for your presentation is great, but also there is no technology during the fight. It's just a wrestling ring and two guys. So it's simple, it strips away all the extra stuff, and so I love the contrast between high-tech pyro intros, music videos, but then when it's just one-on-one in the ring, there's nothing but real physicality.
就是未来还会有更好的科技。
他是讲法是说，你要做一个成功的摔跤，你必须要跟科技做结合。对，如果你落后于科技，那就是会有些落差。所以如果科技上面有一些比较好的地方，我们可以拿来用的，我们就应该拿来用。大概讲就是这样子。以后搞不好会有3D 的摔跤在前面。
哦，那搞不好2K20的话就更不要。
对。
So, did you ever lose your temper in the match? Like, sometimes we watch a match and be like, the child is real and not really in motion, is angry.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm very calm. Not when I'm wrestling here, I'm very relaxed. But when I'm wrestling, my temper and my energy is at 10 out of 10. And so I really easily switch to just crazy. I will yell at a referee. I will yell at my opponent. I will yell at my opponent's manager. And not calm, not relaxed, not planned, just angry. And I don't wait till we get to the back to talk. I'll do it right there. In the ring, outside the ring. Hey man, because my heart is not inside, it's on the outside. When I'm wrestling, it's out here. So all of it just comes out. But so it's easy for me, if I get mad at somebody in the ring, I tell them, we fight, then it's over. If you don't get it out, and if you just try and pretend like it's okay, then you just build up, and then maybe next week I look at that guy and I'm like, hey, I don't like this guy. Whereas if I just got it out, you clash, and then it's over with. You just, that's the only way to end it. Yeah, because otherwise you just harbor that resentment. And that works with anything in my life. Like, if me and Shane had an argument, I would rather have the argument and finish it than like, oh man, maybe see you later, and then the next time I see him, be like, oh, this guy again. We get to the heart of it, and then you can move on. But in the ring, like, I mean, I've yelled at so many people, but I always feel, the only time I feel bad is when I yell at a referee. Because they really are trying their best. They're trying so hard, and then I just yell at them and pick on them, and they can't do anything about it. And so I think it's unfair, but it's just because those moments when I'm in the ring, it's raw, and it's just, all my emotions are out there. So if you see me yelling at somebody, I hope they don't take it personally. It's just, it happens, it's over. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's like, and especially if it's like, if I'm trying to make something happen and I can't, that's when I get really, really upset, and like, it's hard to communicate at that level, and so you just do it physically. You just use that, but yeah. Cool. I'm nice and relaxed.
对，刚刚是问说他在擂台上是不是会情绪失控这种情况发生？对，他说其实他在打比赛就是很全心全意的投入，然后就是摊开来讲，那如果有对手有一些比较不好的一些动作什么，他会直接讲，他会对选手喊，或者对选手吼，对他的对手的吼叫啊，对他对手的这个经纪人啊，对裁判啊，他都会直接吼。他是很认真的去跟他们讲这个东西，因为他的特性是说感觉不太对劲了，然后我们就当下就把它解决掉，就直接讲出来说不可以这样子，我们就在打比赛，打好，大家来就是做工作这样子，好好做，然后出了擂台就没事了。对，不错的。没有，我就想说这个东西是可以很多台湾选手可以学的。你的擂台上的这种 EQ， 你要怎么样去评分？怎么样才是比较有效的方法去？因为你总会遇到问题，那你要找一个最好的方法解决。那今天有这个大师在这边，没有选手过来，对不对？没有。
有录影，有录影。
台湾选手就可以直接学习到，下次直接参考，不要再花。
如果相对的说，他会去喊裁判，裁判不会觉得也是合理。
他常说裁判无辜啊，他所以说他
Did any is there any referee compare with you? You arrogant me, I'm innocent.
Yeah, that makes me more angry. This referee for Impact, I forget his name, but he makes me crazy. If he's refereeing my match, I go to the boss. Hey, can we change? Because if you make a mistake, it's very easy. You make a mistake, you say, I'm sorry, next time I won't make the same mistake. For me, no problem.
Yes.
But if he says, oh, many excuses and never takes responsibility, then I don't forget. I don't forget that.
他说现在好像 Impact 的裁判就是他不想合作，对，因为人出刀是很难免的，这很正常的事情，但是不要找一些借口，就直接说我就下次改进就好了。但是这个听说这一位先生好像会，就是会找很多理由来去，所以现在他在 Impact 好像比赛，如果是这个裁判执法的话，他会说我们换一个人，他会直接讲就换掉他，找别人过来当裁判。
Because with wrestling, we get everything's going, we have momentum, and we're telling a story. And if one person's out of place, if the referee is not doing their job, the two wrestlers can't really wrestle if the referee is not doing their job perfectly. And being a referee is what we call a thankless job, which means if they do a perfect job, no one even says good job. But if they make one mistake, everyone gets mad. It's a very difficult job in wrestling, and I couldn't do it.
摔跤是可能是应该裁判可能是摔跤行业里面最难当的角色，因为你做得好不会有人称赞你，那你做不好就出包，人家就会干掉。但是没办法，因为他说摔跤比赛就是一个架构，选手、裁判这都是一体的，包含真的是观众是一体的。所以如果两个选手打得很好的时候，但是裁判出包，还是说裁判没有在状况内，然后把这个东西都搞砸了，那就他不是很喜欢。
复卡，就跟他来个复卡，就是体验一下，就是真的接触到摔跤选手的那种
想来个豆腐巴掌。
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe one or two. Yeah, especially maybe if we do like pictures at the end, I can show you a lockup or something. But
我们等下先拍照吧，拍个团体照，然后拍完之后他跟你有些简单的。
那个并不是要切磋，就是想说感受一下这种摔跤是什么样不可能。
Just try to experience.
yeah.
Chop it now.
Yeah. That's a very popular request.
很多人喜欢那个逆水平啊，一个要求。I think yeah, it's about time. 我觉得差不多了。那我们。